Okay, so today, I'm excited about today. This is one of my favorite topics. What is the Holy Spirit? And so again, I was raised in with a lot of Catholicism. And so what I'm going to share today has nothing to do with the Holy Spirit that I learned as a Catholic. This is the Holy Spirit that Jesus is talking about in A Course in Miracles. And it is the way, when I finally pulled this all together, I thought, oh my God, this is the entity that I always wanted in my life to assist me. And before I read what is the Holy Spirit in the text or from the workbook, I just want to say, and this goes for God too, and this is something really useful to kind of look at your belief system. God, Holy Spirit, the Christ, they are not figures. They're not human. They're an experience. Okay. So this is, again, with A Course in Miracles. These are the helpers that we have to take us vertical. So they're not in the perceptual arena. They don't exist as figures. I know in Catholicism, they were all figures. God was a white guy. Holy Spirit was some version of white. And, it was very confusing. No, they're not figures. They're an experience. And before I get into the reading, I just want to say this about Holy Spirit that you may find helpful. Holy Spirit isn't even something that you're not. Holy Spirit is you. Holy Spirit is the you that forgot you're a loving thought in the mind of God. Okay? I mean, the ego is that which forgot you're a loving thought in the mind of God. Holy Spirit is the mind that we all came from. It is our personal guide to waking up. Holy Spirit is that part of our mind that remembers the truth of who we are. Okay, so, and I know I've said this before, but this would be helpful right now. So the body, this whole thing is just a projection, nothing more than a projection. The Holy Spirit is that part of my mind that never left God. But it also sees the reality of how I'm perceiving life. So the Holy Spirit, that's why the Holy Spirit is our comforter. It is that part of our minds that remembers who we are, we're only love, but also understands the horizontal world that we are perceiving as true. Okay? So really, this whole awakening process is just to wake up to the truth of who we are, which is we're only love. So this form, the projected form called whomever, pick a name, is like a radio. Okay. It's the machinery. It's a radio. The station that we're listening to is either ego's greatest hits or the Holy Spirit channel, which is the truth of who we are. And so this mind training is really getting us capable of changing those channels. So when we find ourselves judging, we can change the channel back to the truth of who we are, the Holy Spirit channel, and see it through love. But we have to be the one that wants this. It won't automatically go to the Holy Spirit channel. I was talking to someone yesterday, and it was absolutely beautiful. She was saying, I can really see when I want to murder someone. I just started laughing. I said, that is great news. That is such fabulous news, because until you see that you have this desire to kill something off in your perceived world, you're probably not being real honest with yourself. You're probably spiritual ghosting. Oh yeah, I'm fine. I love everybody. Yeah, it's all cool. And the reality is, that's not how we live our lives. We want this horizontal world to look different. It's not right. There's something wrong with it. It needs to change. And the reality is, there's nothing that needs to change in this virtual reality we call life. All there is the desire to go vertical in our thinking and switch to the Holy Spirit channel to learn how to love everything, no exceptions. And when we have these thoughts of wanting to murder someone, I say, fabulous, because we're at least seeing those areas that really require our attention with the help of Holy Spirit. So if we're wanting to murder someone, we're completely tuned into the ego's greatest hits. So it's us to get rigorously honest with ourselves. Yeah, I want to murder them. It's a judgment. All it is a judgment. And then it is to ask for help from Holy Spirit, who's the only one that can really assist us in this transition, because that part of our mind that remembers that we're a loving thought in the mind of God also sees the perception where you want to murder someone. It sees both, doesn't judge it. It just sees it. And then when we request assistance from that part of our mind that's loving, we can shift. We can shift into the Holy Spirit channel. Okay? And then things start to shift and change. But as long as we're denying that we have any negative thoughts or any judgmental thoughts, the mind training isn't for those people. It's only for the people that can see, yes, I have wanted to murder people. I have had not nice thoughts about some. I've wanted to push people away. I didn't want them to be a part of me. Hang on, I'm going to realize that I've got my earbuds in. So that's a place to stand. I just wanted to give you that little background on Holy Spirit. And now this reading from the text from Jesus may assist in creating more clarity, because our relationship with Holy Spirit is the only relationship that matters in this life. There is no other relationship that matters. It's only Holy Spirit. Okay. And I just see it, it's the Holy Spirit channel. It's, it's not even in my body. It's what am I tuning into? Am I tuning into the one ego mind where murder is possible and acceptable and desired? Or am I tuning into the channel called Holy Spirit that's going to train me how to love? Okay. Okay, so this is, what is the Holy Spirit? And this is part of the workbook lessons, number 7. What is the Holy Spirit? The Holy Spirit mediates between illusions and the truth. Okay, the Holy Spirit is kind of the middle ground between belief in this world we call our life, or the truth, we're just love. Okay. Since he must bridge the gap between reality and dreams, the life we think we're living is the dream. The reality is we're a loving thought from the mind of God. Okay. It's back asswards in the belief in this world. We think dreams are what we dream at night, and reality is what we live during the day. Reality is the truth of who we are. It's our awakened self. It's the Holy Spirit mind. It's the Holy Spirit experience that remembers why we're here, to learn how to love everything, no exceptions. Okay, perception. Okay, this is bridging the gap. So the Holy Spirit must bridge the gap between reality and dreams. Perception leads to knowledge. That's all horizontal. Perception leads to knowledge through the grace that God has given him to be his gift to everyone who turns to him for truth. So turning to God for the truth basically negates the perception that we know as knowledge. Perception, anything coming in through the senses, is our perception. And that's all egoic. Across the bridge that he provides are dreams, all carried to the truth. So all the beliefs that you have in the world of, oh, they're annoying, or they're sick, or they're wealthy, or whatever we see in the horizontal, are carried by the Holy Spirit to the truth, which is there's no distinction, there's just love. So whom we've labeled as annoying, in truth, is just love. But our egoic mind has separated them out, making us believe that they're different and they're annoying. It's amazing how this works. So Holy Spirit, across the bridge that he provides our dreams, all carried to the truth, to be dispelled before the light of knowledge. So that's our Holy Spirit mind is going to sort this out and show us there's nothing but love here. Okay. There are sights and sounds forever laid aside. So once you get this, all perceived items disappear. And I know you've already had this experience where you've worked enough with your mind and your beliefs that once you really pop the bubble, whatever it is, that the belief is, oh, I'm wanting to be a victim again, or I am not seeing myself as being heard by anyone. Whatever the belief is, once you get in touch with how that belief serves you, how it keeps you separate, that's how beliefs serve us. They keep us separate. And somehow we decided in this world that separation is a good thing. That somehow we'll be safer in a separated state. It sounds insane, but that's how we live this life. That's how we live in the dream we call our lives. The goal the Holy Spirit's teaching sets is just this end of dreams. So the Holy Spirit, if we turn to the Holy Spirit and ask to see things differently, is the end of the dream. Eventually, there's a lot of beliefs that have to be gone through. For sights and sounds must be translated from the witnesses of fear to those of love. So everything, that, again, that we take into our senses, sight, sound, smell, it goes through our perceptions, which is just a projection. So all of that has to go back through and be seen through Holy Spirit's eyes. That all sights and sounds that we're seeing are actually love, our access to love. And usually, unfortunately, when you're facing some of these things, cancer was a perfect example for me. When I was looking at cancer, thinking, I don't see how this is accessing love. I don't get it. Don't get it. And that's usually when we're looking at something that we have made wrong, no matter what it is, we've made it wrong in our minds. Believing in that will keep the dream alive. The only way to dismantle it is to go to that original part of our minds, the Holy Spirit mind, to see it through love and have the desire to see it through love, truly, without any of our opinions or how we think it really is. For sights and sounds must be translated from the witnesses of fear to those of love. And when this is entirely accomplished, learning has achieved the only goal it has in truth. So when we make this switch from believing our beliefs to really getting, no, I'm just a loving thought in the mind of God, and everything I see is a loving thought that I have translated erroneously. Okay. For learning, as the Holy Spirit guides it to the outcome he perceives for it, becomes the means to go beyond itself, to be replaced by eternal truth. This is awakened. This is the awakened state, to get to the truth of eternity. And Holy Spirit is the only one that can take us through this. This is like going through the eye of the needle, and we have to have willingness to go through the eye of the needle. But once we get through the eye of the needle to the other side, we get the joke that basically, no, the eternal truth is there's nothing but love. So this world that we have called fearful ceases to exist. That's called awakening. That's what we're all wanting. Okay, so without forgiveness, will your dreams remain to terrify you? And the memory of all your Father's love will not return to signify the end of dreams has come. So without this mind training process of asking for help from Holy Spirit, we're doomed to live the dream we called life and ultimately die. But if you can get the mind training and really stick with it in a committed, I want the peace of God kind of way, it dispels the whole dream. It's like taking off virtual reality classes to what we originally thought life was true. Okay. And it's this consistency. You know, I talk about deep prayer. It's the consistency of prayer. Like I was talking to this woman the other day, I said, yeah, you don't think I've never wanted to kill anyone? Are you kidding? I wanted to murder most people. That's why I went out into the boondocks to live by myself. I thought as long as I didn't see anyone, I'd be safe. But it doesn't work that way. Because they don't live in the world, they live in my mind. Okay. And she was, well, I had a father that I didn't want to deal with. Well, guess what? I don't have to deal with him in form, but I have to deal with him in my mind. If I'm making someone wrong in my mind, I have to deal with it. And it's not going out and asking them to go out and have tea. It's a shift I need to take on with Holy Spirit. Okay. Accept your Father's gift. That's that part of our mind that remembers who we truly are, the Holy Spirit mind. Accept your Father's gift. It is a call from love to love, that it be but itself. The Holy Spirit is his gift. The Holy Spirit is that part of my mind that's God's gift to me. Okay? The Holy Spirit is his gift by which the quietness of heaven is restored to God's beloved Son. Would you refuse to take the function of completing God when all he wills is that you be complete? Okay. I love talking about the Holy Spirit. That's all I can say. I really love talking about the Holy Spirit because I had to shift it from this very religious idea of Holy Spirit to a whole other way of holding Holy Spirit. And this is a way that makes so much more sense to me. And everything is within my ability to change. There's no guru needed. There's no assistance needed. It's me and my desire for the peace of God only. And then the request to Holy Spirit to come in and assist me. And it's not a thing, it's Holy Spirit's the experience of loving just for the sake of loving with no fear whatsoever. And I know everyone in this that probably is watching this Zoom knows the truth of that. Like somewhere that lands like, that makes sense, but that's not the way I'm living my life. Nope, none of us are until we commit to it. And once you commit to it, then it means practicing, Holy Spirit, I need your help. I need to see this differently. Every time we have the thought, and it doesn't need to be as severe as murdering someone, but I just thought it was so cute the way she said it. I said, yeah, that's called ego mind. I don't like this. I want this different. This isn't okay. All right. Okay. So with that being said, we're going to say goodbye to our YouTube friends. Goodbye, YouTube friends. Hang on here.